I want to talk some sports. So we're going to talk some sports, and likely you guys have heard, if you have just a passing interest in baseball, quite possibly probably since Babe Ruth, the most talented player in Major League Baseball, hit the free agent market and ended up getting a gigantic record-setting contract, the biggest contract that was not an advertiser deal in all of professional sports, not just baseball. Blew everybody's deal out of the water. Even it's probably not going to get touched in like 10 years, maybe 5-10 years. Like, I can't even think of anybody that's out there on the horizon getting close to how much money Shohei Ohtani just secured from the Los Angeles Dodgers. He got 10 years, $700 million, but to be completely honest, if he continues on the same track, kind of a deal for the talent that you're getting. I'm just saying, man, because for as good as he is with a bat in his hand, he might end up being just as good when he's on the mound. Like, he's something special, man. And the fact that he wasted 6 years with the Angels, and I look over to Mike Trout, who is the most talented five-tool player that the league has seen since Mickey Mantle. The fact that he's just languishing in Anaheim just up the road, I'm dying inside because I'm a big Mike Trout fan. And that dude, the fact that he has only been to the playoffs once in his career, I don't know. Are the Angels cursed or something like that? Because they have Anthony Rendon, they had Albert Pujols, and they wasted air. It's wild. It is just wild to me. But at least Shohei decided to get the hell out of there, and he got one of the sweetest deals, and something that's going to end up laying the blueprint for stars everywhere. And I'm more than happy for as many problems as I have with the Dodgers in regards to how they handle Trevor Bauer and what I think about the current state of Major League Baseball. I do like Shohei Ohtani. Okay, I think he's a really stand-up dude. I think the way that he comported himself during the free agency period is something that should be applauded, mostly for the fact of how angry he made sports journalists. We didn't get exclusive access to him, and we haven't heard from him at all. So just as much as he made them spurg out, I love the man even more. And he wears a pretty bitchin' number, too. But he's doing some wild stuff with his contract as well. So for as monumental as his contract is, he's going to be like kind of the new Bobby Bonilla, okay? Like, he's going to be getting paid until, I think the number that I seen was 2043. Yo, I'm going to be 53. This dude's still going to get paid when I'm in my 50s. Not just like a little lump sum, not just like, here's $1 million. You're going to be getting a lot of money for a very long time, mostly because he doesn't want to end up in a Los Angeles Angels type situation. He wants to have a good team around him, and he understands that, $70 million of payroll every year, that's probably going to put a damper on things at Chavez Ravine. So he ended up deferring $680 million because the man has sponsorship deals. He is still huge in Japan. Like, the guy's out there printing money. His salary is just another little thing. And plus, if he also drags that out, he's going to get additional tax benefits so that the stupid California state taxes and the federal taxes don't completely and totally annihilate his salary. So this is probably the smartest thing for all parties concerned. So he's going to be with the Dodgers for 10 years. He has ensured generational wealth for his grandkids. And now he wants to make the Dodgers great again. Like I said, I like Ohtani. I like him a lot. Shohei Ohtani is going to make a huge sacrifice for the Los Angeles Dodgers so they can build around him. Ohtani will defer 68 of the $70 million salary each season until the completion of his contract. I don't know. Like, I'm totally fine with that, by the way, but it's just, oh my God, for some of you other old heads that are out there that were also into different disciplinary professional sports, you might remember Ilya Kovalchuk. Ilya Kovalchuk, way back in the day, I think it was prior to the lockout, or maybe just a little bit after, he signed an 11-year contract was that with the Islanders or something like that? He tried to sign a contract. It was 11 years, but the way and the structure of that, because it would have been a huge detriment. No, it was with the Devils. It was with the New York Devils, which he ended up playing for. But the way that contract was structured, it got struck down by the league, was that it was also doing some weird deference because the new salary cap was coming in over the top of the NHL. So in order for the team not to just completely and totally kneecap themselves and fill out every other line, because he would end up taking a gigantic portion of the salary cap. It ended up spreading out cash, or it would have for a very long time, and it ended up changing the game for everybody. I'm just wondering if this is going to do the same thing, but also there's not going to be any other players. There isn't any other players, and right now there's a lot of talent in Major League Baseball. Nobody's going to command $700 million. Hell, what was the next closest baseball contract? I think it was like Manny Machado or Fernando Tatis Jr. No, it was Mike Trout's extension. It was only like 400 and some odd million dollars. Like, brother, this is going to be a record that's going to hang around for a long time. So it might end up slipping in under the radar. That means, yes, the two-way sensation will earn $2 million per season over the life of his 10-year deal. The deferred money was suggested by Otani. Again, big ups to Shohei. Who will receive the funds without interest, from 2035 to 2043, according to Fabian Ardaya. Okay, he is believed to earn $50 million annually outside of baseball through endorsements and other ventures. See, that's very important. Oh, he's only getting $2 million. Oh, what a steal for the Dodgers. Well, everybody else is paying him quite a bit, just about as much money as he's deferring. He's taken in right now that he can, if he's doing this appropriately, which I'm sure he is. He's probably got smart people, very smart people in his ear. You're making $50 million right now from all your sponsorships, and, north of that, you can go ahead and live off of that stuff. Get even better PR for yourself by deferring so much of your contract. Everything is going to be gravy, baby, so you won't end up on the outside looking in of October baseball. MLB cannot challenge or cancel Ohtani's contract, according to ESPN's Jeff Passan. Yeah, but that hasn't stopped Rob Manlett and meddling in several other issues beforehand. I fucking hate that guy. Who knows that there's a specific section of the collective bargaining agreement that addresses this situation. Okay, so Article 16 of the collective bargaining agreement, deferred compensation, states the following: there shall be no limitation on either the amount of deferred compensation or the percentage of total compensation attributable to a deferred compensation for which the uniform player's contract may provide. Cool. The deferred money will allow the Dodgers payroll flexibility to help them navigate the competitive balance tax. The annual average value of Ohtani's contract is believed to be closer to $46 million for the purposes of the tax, a source told Ardaya. Ohtani reportedly agreed to the 10-year, $700 million deal with the Dodgers on Saturday. The deal was finalized on Monday. He had a big old press conference for himself on the 14th of December, and yeah, he's there. And as you can see in the sidelines, he's doing an excellent job. Just his simple presence of being with the Dodgers, which wasn't really lacking for star power to begin with, because the triumvirate at the top of the lineup for this team is absolutely fucking absurd. You got Otani, obviously. You got Mookie Betts, a two-time MVP in his own right. And oh yeah, bringing up the rear, Freddie fucking Freeman. Yo, man, this is absolutely wild, and obviously the Achilles heel of the Dodgers, which they could easily remedy by just bringing back Trevor Bauer, is on the mound. Ohtani's not going to be able to help them out in 2024 because he's, recovering from Tommy John surgery. He's just going to be able to swing a bat and probably end up hitting 35 to 40 homers again, because he's only going to be 29 or 30 years old by the time that he hits the diamond, okay, because he's 29 right now. Not too sure when his birthday is, but, the Dodgers are going to be throwing a celebration for him, no doubt, because, yeah, they just ended up landing Tyler Glasnow, from the Rays. He's also doing, huge lobbying for, several other of his country mates, okay, on behalf of the Dodgers. A star pitcher Yamamoto there, he might be meeting with the Phillies, but he got Shohei in his ear, and he's like, listen, man, you can come on down. We can win some chips down here. I think they used to play on the same team over in the Nippon League, and I could see, for as much as, Clayton Kershaw is humming and hawing, maybe I'll retire, maybe I won't. I could see him just, throwing it in for one more year as a stopgap, trying to win an actual World Series instead of that asterisk 2021, a year before Shohei can get back on the mound and, keep wanting to say Trevor Bauer. Bring back Trevor Bauer, for Christ's sakes. Clayton can close out his legendary career on a high note, because this is going to be the craziest team ever fielded, thanks to the craziest contract ever. And like I said, there's a bunch of really cool stipulations that I really do hope ends up catching on. Okay, so Ohtani can opt out of the Dodgers deal if Walter or Friedman lose their roles. Very interesting. So he's going to have a say in some of the personnel choices that the team makes. And Andrew Friedman, by the way, is like one of the most, for as much money as the Dodgers can just go ahead and make rain on anybody that they want, it's still a savvy team because their farm team, okay, the way that Andrew Friedman drafts is legendary, man. Like, they haven't been a bum-ass team. There's a reason that they can go out there and fucking trade for anybody that they can't pay off. It's because they draft winners. Walker Buehler, who's going to be hitting the mound once again, they drafted in a time when they were still out there winning NL West championship pennants, okay? For as derided and barren as their outfielding depth was, everybody who filled in, Outman, who ended up getting Rookie of the Year consideration, drafted by the Dodgers. Max Muncy, drafted by the Dodgers. And look at some of the other superstars that are out there. You know, the guy that just took home World Series MVP, Corey Seager, drafted by the Dodgers, drafted by Andrew Friedman. So yeah, if the Dodgers, just have a Joe Biden-esque brain aneurysm and want to clean house all of a sudden, well, Ohtani can go, I've been down this path before, okay, with other shitty organizations. So deuces, I'll just go and get a big bag from the Yankees or from the Blue Jays. Like, okay, as a recovering Blue Jays fan, I heard that story prior to, him signing with the Dodgers, and it's like, I don't believe that for a second. Like, I understand, the Blue Jays have done some crazy stuff in my lifetime before, trading with the Mets, not to get stupid R.A. Dickey, which was atrocious, even though they, in the grand scheme of things, didn't end up giving up all that much, or anybody who really manifested into a, professional baseball player. But no, trading for Dave Stieb back at the the waiver trade deadline, okay, and then winning their first championship. Couple of those splashy acquisitions in the mid-2000s, the likes of Troy Gloss and B.J. Ryan, getting Jose Reyes, trading out for Troy Tulowitzki and David Price. Like, their acquisitions are kind of few and far between. So as much momentum as they were generating in the Ohtani market, I didn't believe it for a second. But guys, they're renovating the Sky Dome. Well, the Sky Dome is still a fucking cemented hellhole, okay? Why on earth? Oh, it's a very multicultural city. Oh yeah, unlike, Los Angeles, unlike New York. Like, the fuck are you talking about, man? But anyways, as financial figures start to balloon into the atmosphere, there are certain other incentives that are going to have to be baked into these contracts of these superstar players handed out by these gigantic franchises in baseball and football and basketball in order to circumvent salary caps, luxury taxes, all of that stuff. Very interesting. And at least they're giving the power to somebody who seems to be a really good dude. Shohei Ohtani can opt out of a $700 million 10-year contract with the Dodgers if either two key executives is no longer in place. A person familiar with the agreement said Ohtani, who will officially be introduced by the Dodgers, we already seen that, would be allowed to terminate his deal if Mark Walter no longer is controlling owner or president of baseball operations. Andrew Friedman no longer is with the team, the person said. The person spoke on a condition of anonymity. Ohtani's deal announced Monday provides that 97% of the money be deferred without interest and not paid fully until 2043. The Athletic first reported Wednesday that Ohtani's deal contained a provision allowing him to opt out if the Dodgers made specific personnel changes. And the deal is still in the form of the letter of agreement between Ohtani's representatives. Yeah, but it's already been finalized. Don't worry about that. Ohtani's contract annual salary of $70 million. MLB reported Wednesday that Ohtani broke Fanatics records for the highest jersey sales within the first 48 hours, topping soccer star Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Yo, if he's being uttered in those same names, if you thought that $700 million price tag and him paying it out and the Dodgers paying it out for another half century was a little bit too much, Just to understand that that acquisition right there is going to end up paying for itself. Otani's deal includes a full no-trade provision and provides for a hotel suite on road trips, okay, premier luxury suite for home games, and a full-time interpreter. Well, it kind of makes sense. Otani will donate to the Dodgers charity an amount not to exceed 1%. Yeah, because then it would kind of end up looking like, money laundering. You got to leave that to the professionals in the White House. Otani last spoke to reporters on August 9th, 2 weeks before a pitching injury that required surgery and will keep him off the mound until 2025. He had the operation on September 19th, and the nature of the surgery was not fully announced. Otani had Tommy John surgery on October 1st of 2018. But all of those additional perks, all of those little benefits, and then also being on a star-studded legendary team probably, pushed him over the edge. But like I alluded to with the Blue Jays offer, there were also other teams in pursuit. I think it came down to, 5 different organizations. Okay, the Angels were still being in there. You had the Blue Jays, you had the Dodgers, who ultimately won at the end of the day. You had the Atlanta Braves, I think, sniffing around. And then there was also the San Francisco Giants, the chief rival of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've said on multiple occasions that we offered the identical contract to Shohei, but he just decided to, keep it in Los Angeles. Well, there's something else that's coming out. And I think that it's very interesting. It's very interesting that this would come out. Former Giant Buster Posey. I think he's still working with the organization as well, okay? But Buster Posey says crime, drugs affected Shohei Ohtani's decision not to come to San Francisco. San Francisco's death spiral has precipitated, shout out to Mayor London Breed, ended up costing them, somebody who's going to drive billions of dollars in revenue for your city over the course of the 10 years that he theoretically would be there. Your mismanagement of a city cost not just your team, the best player in baseball, but an opportunity for people to give your crime and drug-ridden disaster area a second lease on life. Holy. Former Giants megastar Buster Posey has claimed that current baseball star Shohei Ohtani declined a contract from the team and chose the Dodgers due to San Francisco's poor reputation as a city. I wonder why. Ohtani's stats as a slugger and a pitcher basically match up to Babe Ruth's at this point in his career. Yeah, that's not hyperbole. That's just amazing fact that we're alive at this time to witness this. He's an impossibly rare talent with that combination, and it's why the Dodgers have signed him to a 10-year, $700 million deal. I would just love to know, how much money would Babe Ruth end up getting in today's day and age? These are these fun hypotheticals I like to engage in when I'm not talking about, some of the more serious stuff. This is still kind of serious at the end of the day, but every once in a while, I just like to take a trip down the not-so-serious lane, okay? So fuck off. Though the San Francisco Giants offered Ohtani a contract nearly identical to the Dodgers, experts believe the city's reputation, which has quickly become a fecal-infested homeless den of crime in recent years, would hinder the deal. When it comes to Shohei Ohtani, they recognize that he had to confront a level of Southern California, or he had a comfort level in Southern California, and that was going to be a difficult thing. Even though, because I remember back in the day, and you can find these old reports as well, that Shohei, when he was first being posted from Japan, he didn't want to go to those giant locations or anything like that. So, of course, like New York, the Dodgers, even the Cubs to a lesser extent. Some of the bigger cities, he's somebody that I think he comes from like rural Japan, one of the smaller, more quiet areas. And he didn't want to immerse himself in these larger locales. So I guess Anaheim was a nice, an entry point or something like that? Because it's not quite Los Angeles, but depending on the day, I don't know, it depends on how the Angels want to go ahead and market themselves. So yeah, he's got a level of comfort in Southern California. Well, outside of the politics, Southern California is about heaven on earth, but, the people and the politics. Buster Posey agreed. There's a bit of uneasiness with the city itself as far as the state of the city with crime and drugs, Posey said to Andrew Baggerly of The Athletic. Okay, there's some reservation. That's sad, man, because outside of probably Barry Bonds, but he's got a much better reputation. Like Buster Posey, he is the Giants, okay? Like he was the cornerstone of their 3 even-year championship teams in the 2010s, 2010, 12, and 14. Probably one of the best catchers, not like that, but in all of his generation. Either him or Joe Mauer, but Buster Posey has accomplished far more. Like for even him to say that, okay, like that, it's accurate, but it's wild, okay? That somebody would connect those dots. Posey said the other free agents have expressed a similar concern. San Francisco supervisor Matt Dorsey, who represents the district where the Giants play, said that he has heard similar complaints from businesses within the city. Wow. What I heard from Buster Posey is what I have heard from large employers and what I've heard from businesses, that San Francisco needs to do a better job at progress on its public safety challenges, said Dorsey. Dorsey has been campaigning for full police staffing. Yeah, that'll change things. If we can't make progress on police staffing, we're going to have a hard time making progress on anything. And in some ways, I think the reputational issue of playing out now in the Major League Baseball player is emblematic of why we need to take this seriously, said Dorsey. Exactly, because if it's costing you athletes, just think. How many rank and file individuals are looking at something like that and realizing that San Francisco, once the shining beacon on the hill, one of the most lauded cities in all of the United States, hell, in all of the world, regarded as one of the most beautiful places on earth, and you can't even lure somebody with just about $1 billion. What does that say about your city? Absolutely wild. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.